Take two, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I did another video about WB's Aztec Batman, and I uploaded it. I did a premiere and everything, and I was wildly unimpressed with the video because they decided that they were going to copyright claim portions of the video that really made it kind of incoherent. It would jump from here to here to here, and there would be points where I would watch a little bit and pause and talk. And so I'm just going to do it again. And this time I'm not going to show any of the actual video. I'm just going to play Matt Walsh's video in portion and give my commentary yet again. So for those who didn't watch the original video and those who may not know, the WB has announced that they are releasing a new Batman movie. This Batman movie has Batman as an Aztec. Now, if you don't understand why that could be potentially problematic, it's because the Aztecs were an evil group of people that condoned human sacrifices and slavery and all sorts of barbarism. So, if Batman is an Aztec, his principles of I don't kill people really don't make sense. So what you would have to do in that situation is you would have to have the conquistadors be the villains, the Christian conquistadors that rebelled against the Aztecs because they freed the enslaved tribes. The conquistadors that freed the enslaved tribes of the Aztecs and got those people to convert to Christianity and help to fight against the Aztecs, you would have to depict those people as the bad guys. And you'd have to depict the Aztecs as the good guys, which is exactly what they do. The quote-unquote white colonial Christians are the bad guys, and the Aztecs are the good guys, because these people are insane, and their morals are inverted. It's so incredibly obvious. It's so incredibly transparent. These people have inverted morals. And there's no way that you could really fit Batman into that dynamic. Because what is the Joker going to be doing? Usually the Joker and Batman is kidnapping people to kill them. Well, in this, what is the Joker kidnapping people so that they can't be sacrificed? Like, what's going on? Like, this is so far gone. And yet, there's a bunch of people that are getting paid in order to do this. Getting paid in order to have this as a job. ChatGPT could write a better script. The reality is that if you base your worldview on 2025 modern Nimbius liberal politics, this is the sort of stuff that can occur from that. As you're sitting there sipping your Starbucks latte and lamenting the fact that, can you believe that a bunch of Christian white nationalists came to this country and massacred the indigenous people that were at one with nature, and they're so noble. It's like, do you not realize that your lifestyle, like no matter what your lifestyle is, they would destroy everything that you have. They would kidnap you, and then they would sacrifice you in front of your loved ones, in front of your family, and then they'd sacrifice your family. Like, what is this weird obsession with trying to rewrite history for your own personal sensibilities? It never makes any sense to me. Anyway, let's watch this video from Matt Walsh. Again, I'm going to do a take two because I wasn't satisfied with the video in the first place. So we do it again. We do it again until it's right, because all those jump cuts didn't work for me.
Would root for an Aztec Batman are either completely ignorant of history or they're sociopaths who want the world to revert to barbarism. If you know anything about Batman lore, which you probably shouldn't, then you know that he doesn't kill anyone. Going back to the 1940s, it's been understood that Batman goes out of his way to preserve human life and animal life. He won't indiscriminately open fire on criminals and innocent bystanders with heavy weaponry, even though it'd be a lot easier most of the time. That's just not how Batman operates. He sneaks in the shadows and takes the pacifist route. The old animated series would use this restriction as a source of comic relief. Instead of stabbing a shark that was about to eat him, for example, Batman asked Robin to toss him some shark repellent bat spray, then boom, pow, crisis averted. He would also use batarangs, smoke bombs, various environmental hazards to dispatch his enemies. Although it was really bad for the climate, most of it. Yes, Tim Burton's Batman set henchmen on fire, blew people up, threw bad guys off tall buildings. That's true, but every rule has an exception. It's fair to say that in general, particularly in the animated shows, the writers had to get somewhat clever in order to avoid turning Batman into a killer. They had to play with the laws of physics and basic logic a little bit, but they got it done. And that said, as impressive as these old Batman writers were, it becomes become clear that the new crop of Batman writers are going to have to be much, much more creative than their predecessors. If the old Batman shows were the equivalent of Apollo 11, the one where we landed on the moon, then the new Batman show is going to be Apollo 13 levels of difficulty. They'll have to fit that square peg into a round hole in the writer's room day in and day out. They'll have to employ every imaginable trick in the book if they want to keep this whole no-kill thing going. In the process, they'll have to rewrite history and constantly insult the viewer's intelligence. And indeed, it appears that that's exactly what they plan on doing. So behold, the first trailer for the upcoming Batman feature film from Warner Brothers. You've heard that wokeness is dead, but I think this trailer will show that reports of its demise may have been premature. Watch this.
Okay, so we're not gonna watch it this time. I'm gonna do a still shot. This is Batman. It's not Bruce Wayne. It's this Aztec warrior, and the entire thing makes no sense. It's one of the dumbest things that I've ever seen. When I was watching this trailer, I was incredulous because it's literally everything that you can possibly imagine. It's the conquistadors are the bad guys. Oh, the Aztecs are the good guys. And literally, it is everything that you thought it was. The conquistadors kill Aztec Batman's father. And I mean, it's so stupid that it defies belief. Where after he kills his father, there's a scene, I can't play it unfortunately. You can go watch it yourself if you want, where Cortez says, "Kill them all!" In this overly dramatic, villainous way, where it's very clear that they're trying to make the conquistadors out to be the bad guys. Now, again, in real history, the conquistadors freed the slaves of the Aztecs, and that's how they were able to win. They rallied the forces of the enslaved tribes, converted them to Christianity, and basically said, okay, well, now we're going to go free more people from the Aztecs, and that's ultimately how the conquistadors were able to win, because there wasn't that many actual conquistadors. There wasn't enough to conquer the Aztecs by themselves. The Aztecs were so brutal, and there were so many tribes of people that they had enslaved that it made it impossible to, there were so many people that it made it impossible to make them the good guy. There's no way that you can depict them as the good guy unless you are actively doing something malicious for your own personal politics. And by the way, Batman always used to be about a bat. Batman was about a bat because that's what Bruce Wayne was afraid of. He was afraid of bats, so he used that fear to his advantage to make his enemies afraid of bats. This appears to be him being given powers by a pagan bat god. And he's Two-Face now. Cortez is now Two-Face. Brilliant. Worst idea I've ever heard. I don't know how anyone got paid for this. This is shocking and embarrassing. And everyone who's involved in this should be fired. I mean, this is one of the most basic things in the world. This idea was conjured up from the bowels of DEI hell. How on earth do you justify this? Aztec Batman? Like, as though the Aztecs were the good guys. That's the thing that blows my mind. They genuinely want to portray the Aztecs as the good guys, as the ones that were sympathetic. Now, I'm all for taking creative liberties and going above and beyond with stories to sort of exaggerate it within reason. I think that a lot of times they make these changes not because they want to enhance the story, but because they're beholden to an ideology that most people find repellent and racist and obnoxious. Like when Angerboda in God of War, Ragnarok, was black. Why was Angerboda black? Well, because a bunch of people who worked there got together and said we need more representation in this game because we don't want to be called racist on the internet by games journalists. That was it. That was pretty much the start and end of it. Does it make sense that she's black? No. They just did it. Does it make sense that Batman is now Aztec? No. He's not even Bruce Wayne. He's not even sent back in time as Bruce Wayne and now has to dress up as Aztec Batman. No, it's just we're gonna take Batman and put him into an Aztec setting where the morals are inverted, like I talked about. The Aztecs are now the good guys. The conquistadors are now the bad guys because the people making this are insane and they have morals that don't align with reality. They've been flipped on their head. Because if you think the people that are committing child sacrifices in the name of the sun god are the good guys and the Christian conquistadors are the bad guys because they're white colonialists, then you should be in a padded cell. A very nice padded cell. Very, very comfy, very cushy, almost like living in a pillow. And you can talk to the walls all day about how bad the conquistadors were, how bad the Christians are, for bringing civility and reason and decency and love and compassion to the world, making it so that these pagan barbaric rituals weren't taking place and people weren't getting massacred in the way that they were, under the Aztecs, just simple things like that. And, Cortez helping to build a civilization and a city that everyone could, flourish and thrive with, just basic things. If you're not able to understand good from evil in that way, you can talk all about it to your padded cell, and your padded cell will love to hear from you, and so will the doctors that'll be giving you your medication. I think that we need to reclaim society, and I think the first step in doing that is identifying that stuff like this is actually dangerous, because you have people that are out there that hate America and hate what the West stands for and hates Christianity so much that they actually are willing to rewrite history in order to make the villains into the good guys. They are willing to rewrite history in order to make the Aztecs the civilization where Batman would flourish. No, the Aztecs are the group of people that should have been fought against, and they were. The slaves were freed from the Aztecs. Have you people working in Hollywood not seen Apocalypto? It's one of Mel Gibson's best movies. It's phenomenal. And Apocalypto showed the brutality of the Aztecs. It showed the brutality of this group that would commit these sacrifices. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue on with Matt Walsh's video. Make sure that there's no more of this. And let me just say, the animation looks bad. Apparently Poison Ivy is now like an Aztec god. Like, come on. This is so bad. And apparently, this is Catwoman as she scars Cortez's face, and that, like, come on, guys. This is so bad. This is just so bad. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. The people who created this should be humiliated and embarrassed. Like, this is why I'm so excited to see what AI can do, because it can't get any worse than what is being slobbed out by these people that think that, oh, I'm an artiste.
And is now an Aztec warrior. Instead of Bruce Wayne, his name is Yohuli Kotal. I don't know. And this time around, his father gets killed by Hernan Cortez, who acts as Two-Face in this rendition, having had half his face scarred during an assassination attempt of some kind. The Joker is also a crazy Aztec priest, evidently, so they're trying to create parallel versions of all the old characters. But at this point, it's not clear exactly how far these parallels will go, and that's an important question that these writers are going to have to resolve. In the original comics, for example, Batman's father was a guy named Dr. Thomas Wayne. He was a very renowned surgeon. I'm telling you all this because I'm an expert on comic book lore. And he made a lot of money, that his surgeon did, by cutting people up and fixing them. So how exactly is that going to translate to this new film, Aztec Batman Clash of Empires? One can only speculate. I obviously haven't seen the new film, but we can assume that the father of Yohali Kotal will also be a very famous surgeon. And that makes sense after all. Of course, for the Aztecs, being a famous surgeon meant that you took the heart out, but you didn't put it back in. That's the slight but very important distinction that needs to be drawn. There's no transplant. They weren't fixing the heart. They would take it out, and that was it. You see, they used a knife to rip the hearts out of their captives, including children, while they were still beating, before they would eat them or burn them as an offering to the gods. Other than that, it's pretty much a one-to-one parallel. Batman's dad would replace the heart when he was done, and the Aztecs didn't bother with that. So they get half credit at least, and probably good enough.
Isn't it crazy that we're even here having this conversation? That we're even here talking about this? An Aztec Batman? Like, it's such an absurd concept when you really think about it. It's not as though, Batman is just wearing like an Aztec themed suit. No, this isn't Bruce Wayne. It's not even Batman. It's, them trying to turn history into propaganda. And it's anti-white propaganda, anti-Christian propaganda, and it's just obnoxious. Like, this is what you're doing. This is where you're putting your time and effort, and you think that this is going to generate something? How does this benefit the Batman franchise? How does this reinvigorate things? How does this change things on another level? This just seems pathetic. Like, what would make more sense? I'll be honest. What would make more sense is if the Joker went back in time. You could use anything to send the Joker back through time. It's the DC universe. And Batman has to chase him. And the Joker teams up with the Aztecs. Because, they're for child sacrifices and, evil. And Batman has to work with the conquistadors in order to help defeat the Aztecs who are enslaving people and sacrificing them, and the Joker at the same time. And, I think that would be fine. Not the best idea in the world, but taking your garbage and trying to make it palatable, trying to make it something. But you decided, no, we're not going to even have the old characters. We're going to try to fit them in, and we're going to do it in a way that is just so obviously ridiculous. There is no reason why, Poison Ivy, a villain, she's an Aztec god. Brilliant.
At this point, you're thinking that this is a terrible idea for a film and that no sane person should watch it or would watch it. But I have to say two things. First, you're obviously right. But second, don't overlook the fact that there's a lot of other humor you can draw from this very ill-fated and stupid idea. People are already drawing up storyboards for potential scenes, and here's one of them. We'll put it on the screen. In case you're listening to the audio podcast, the Aztec Joker says, "That's right, Guano Man, I'm holding the T.O. Pixie hostage and you'll never find him. And Batman responds, you monster, without him, we can't sacrifice enough children to make the sun rise. Then the Joker cackles and says, the children will live and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, it's just...
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually pretty good. And yeah, that is the reality of the situation. That's turning what they did into something a little more realistic. That, you know, Joker, if we don't sacrifice those children, the sun's not going to rise. And that's the point, Batman. Like, you know, they do not have the intelligence or the creativity to do what they're doing. And I don't know why they even try, other than ideologically. They just want to make a piece of propaganda that rewrites history, that the Aztecs are the good guys and the conquistadors are the bad guys. I think that may be the start and end of it. Because this obviously isn't going to resonate with people. It's obviously not going to intrigue people. It's a stupid idea. It's not even really Batman. It's not Batman. That's not Bruce Wayne. That's not Batman. That's another character that apparently gets bat powers from a pagan bat god. No, it's a completely different thing that has nothing to do with it. And the thing is, I wouldn't even say that this would work as a standalone, because the Aztecs are never going to be received as the good guy because they sacrifice children. I don't know why you're trying to rehabilitate the image of the Aztecs as though they were just so noble. No, they were monsters. And so, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I redid this video, added in a couple other things because, they decided to copyright claim the video. And, yeah, I had them trim out a couple parts, but there were a lot of parts that they had to trim out because on YouTube and on the internet, apparently you can't react to publicly available information that they put out there. And so they're going to try to shut down my video. It's one of the most pathetic things. And honestly, if I were president for a day, I would sue these companies into oblivion for that. I mean, why are you going to put out something publicly, and then when somebody reacts to it, you're going to copyright claim it? It's outrageous. It's ridiculous. But maybe it's their only defense mechanism because they know that this is going to be a steaming pile of shite. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for rewatching the video with me, even though most of you already knew what was coming. I do appreciate your dedication. I appreciate the support for the channel. It's been overwhelming. It's been incredible. And on that note, I will bid you guys a good day, and I will see you next time.